I want to start with Ms. Robinson. Some of the earlier decisions on the Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act have been 3-2 decisions and have avoided the cost-benefit analysis that saying on the grounds that the statutory language does not require the inquiry and that conducting the analysis would be time-consuming. Now, that is an important part of the gist of the Act because we all want the safety regulations to be put in place that will be effective, but cost-benefit analysis is certainly an important part of that from my standpoint. How do you feel about the cost-benefit analysis requirement, and would you adhere to the spirit of the law that makes that a component of a regulation?
Thank you, Senator. I think the cost-benefit analysis is obviously very important where it's appropriate, and I do know that a lot of that has been dictated by Congress, and I very much will follow those dictates. But I do understand the spirit of your question, I think, as well. And while I think everyone in this room wants to make sure our products are safe, particularly for our children, it is critical that we make sure that America continues to be a country in which it's a good place to manufacture products. So I think that balance is an important one, and I certainly, if I'm confirmed, will very much follow the spirit of the law in that regard.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And as I said in my opening statement, I think the Commission has taken a turn for the better in its coordination and trying to come to terms where it's not just 3-2 decisions. And I hope that you would pledge to be a part of that kind of working toward consensus where possible.
Absolutely, Senator, and I completely agree with you. I mean, the unanimous decisions aren't the ones that end up in the newspaper. But I really view the Commission as a quasi-judicial forum. I think that politics should be left on the doorstep and that we should all work toward safety in our products, which is the mission of the Commission. Obviously, with 5 people who are smart and capable, you're going to have disagreements. I certainly think my experience on the Dalcon Shield Trust with working with 4 other very smart, capable people, there were strong disagreements, but we were able to reach consensus because we knew what our mission was, and I expect that to be the same at the Commission. And I have met 3 of the 4 commissioners. I'm extremely impressed with them. And Northrop and I have not met only because we haven't been in D.C. at the same time, but we will soon. And I very much look forward, if confirmed, to working with all 4 of them.
Okay, let me ask you one more question, and then I hope I can go to Dr. Falcone. The Consumer Product Safety Improvement Act established that the Commission would put together a publicly available database on safety of products, which I thought was very good. In fact, I will have to say that Mr. Pryor, sitting here, was the architect of this law, and we had a lot of back and forth, and I will say came up with a lot of compromises in this bill. One of those is this database that I think is very good if it is used correctly. My question to you is, sometimes there have been things put on it or comments put on it without any filtering for accuracy. How would you propose as a commissioner to assure that what is put on does not have information that isn't accurate so that it can be a true picture for the consumer?
Well, my understanding, Senator, is that there are pretty strict constraints on what's going to be put on the website, and certainly with the amendments that were made, the companies are given even a larger time parameter within which to respond. I think it's very important, I agree with you, Senator, that the information on the website be accurate. I'm not certain exactly of what you're speaking, but certainly if I'm confirmed, I will work very hard to make sure that of the accuracy of the comments that are put on the website.
What's happened is that there needs to be some way to show when it is a consumer that has a comment versus a competitor of the product, another company that makes the product. And so sometimes things are going in that or suspected to be from a competitor as opposed to a real consumer. And it's just it's hard, I know, to get the information out, but also to assure that there's accuracy. And I would just ask that you look at that. Let me quickly see if I can talk to Dr. Falcone, because I'm intrigued, of course, that you got the first mechanical engineering degree as a woman from Princeton. And I'm so pleased that you're going to take on encouraging other girls to come up and want to be engineers and mathematicians and scientists, because that's something I have tried to do as well. But let me ask you from the Sandia experience and then where you're going into security. I'd like to know your priorities, and also if nuclear testing safety is one of the things that you would be looking at from your Sandia experience, and what are the other priorities in defense and national security for the science function? Thank you, Senator.
Let's see, with respect to priorities, I think overall, the key priority, I think, is making sure that we've got a science and technology set of capabilities in this country that are first class and well matched to the country's resources. And specifically, the work at OSTP, our director often, John Holdren, often says that our business is the science and technology for policy and policy for science and technology. And with respect to national security and international affairs, in the policy domain, what I would seek to do, where I confirmed for this position, is to ensure that we have the very best technical information as a part of policy discussions in important areas like cybersecurity, which we just talked about, defense against biological threats, nuclear security, aspects of our military and intelligence capabilities that we have, and also to work in this policy for science and technology to make sure that our policies that related to the science and technology enterprise that supports national security, so our industries, so our small businesses, the universities that are engaged in supporting, and the dedicated federal institutions, which I have experience from in just one, that those are sorted out so that many of the processes that we use were created post-World War II, post-Sputnik, and so what we have to be sure of is that the processes and policies make that whole enterprise well-matched for the future challenges. So those are the two areas I would seek to work in.
Thank you. I hope that if I have time in a second round that I'll be able to ask you, Mr. Ladinsky. But thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Hutchison. Senator Cantwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.